You know, you guys, I personally think it's pretty safe to say that almost every single year in the NBA, there is always at least that one team that makes some monumental improvement that the majority of the NBA world did not see coming. And even though strictly talking about this sense, the majority of that spotlight for that one team that has done so has been the Memphis Grizzlies, there is a team we absolutely need to talk about that the majority of the NBA world is not, and that is the Minnesota Timberwolves and what they are currently doing. Because in case you've been living under a rock, the Timberwolves have been very subtly sweeping through the entire league, while also being in the process of having one of the more miraculous one-season turnarounds we have seen out of an NBA franchise in a very long time. But again, what they are doing and how they are specifically doing it needs to be dived into a little bit further. One sec if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. And for any of you that haven't yet, I am highly encouraging you to do so, because according to my numbers, over 95% of you guys coming back to watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. So for any of you that do, thank you so much. But anyway, let's get back to the Minnesota Timberwolves, because again, if you have not noticed what this team has done so far this season, I'm telling you, now is a better time to pay attention to Minnesota basketball than ever before. Because for a team that started the season with an expected below average record of 4-9 through their first 13 games, they have since made nothing short of an unprecedented turnaround, going 38-21 in their next 59 games, currently placing them in a playoff position that I can say not many probably predicted at the beginning of this season. And I know that some people that haven't watched this team are probably going to immediately jump to excuses as to why the Timberwolves have as good of a record as they currently do. But believe me, you guys, the numbers show for it as to why this team is as good as they are. Because not to mention, as a team, the Timberwolves currently sit first in total points, second in threes, third in blocks, fourth in steals, and even eighth in total point differential out of all teams across the league. They also have very solid records across the board when you are considering the different tier of a team they are playing. Also, they are easily the hottest team since the All-Star break, and they are somehow just 8 wins away from becoming a 50-win team. Now, with all of this happening and being said, it leaves many people wondering, where did this Minnesota team come from? Because as I'm sure most of you know, this team, outside of some small acquisitions in the offseason, by no means whatsoever made any groundbreaking or quote-unquote blockbuster moves that would necessarily put them over the top. But the tried and true answer to their success is so much more simpler than people are trying to make it out to be, and this, without a doubt, has been mainly due to the mastermind coaching of Chris Finch. Because again, aside from some of the small offseason moves that the Timberwolves made, there is really not a substantial difference in the Timberwolves team we see now compared to the one we saw previously, and yet almost everyone in this rotation from top to bottom is playing at a monumentally better level, and again, nobody is talking about it. And for example of this, let's take a look into the Timberwolves' big three of Karl-Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, and of course Anthony Edwards. Because for a core three of a team like these guys, who saw very little success on the court last year and received a lot of backlash for it in return, this year has been quite literally a polar opposite, both in the sense of their individual play and overall team success. As first things first with Karl-Anthony Towns, even though the numbers he is putting up this year aren't necessarily career highs, he is without a doubt playing the best basketball of his entire career, and especially since the All-Star break, he has been on another level. But then, if we want to get into what might have been the most questionable piece of this rotation since his arrival in D'Angelo Russell, D'Lo, who I feel is in a very similar situation to Cat, where even though the numbers might not say it, is playing some of the best ball we have seen from him in years. And if you think his effect on this basketball team's success so far this year has not been anything crazy, I'm here to tell you that you could not be farther from the truth. And just for your reference of this, when D'Lo is out out on the court, the Minnesota Timberwolves have a very impressive 36-21 record. Well, when he is not, they have an abysmal record of just 6-9 this season. And if we're going to continue talking about the improvement of D'Lo, it's safe to say that he has been thriving in this new offense, specifically in his playmaking ability. Because when you look at the numbers, he is putting up more assists and less turnovers per game than we have seen out of him in his entire career. But also, we can't forget about the man himself, Anthony Edwards, who has seen some improvement in specific areas of his game under the new style of Chris Finch. But where Ant has stood above the rest this season has undoubtedly been his monumental improvement on the defensive side of the ball. With a coach like Finch working with this team, don't be surprised if Anthony Edwards very quickly turns into one of the better two-way players across the league. But when looking at everything from an outsider's perspective, again, there might not seem like anything crazy different about this Timberwolves team this season, but what if I told you that according to Kirk Goldsberry's efficiency landscape, that at some different points this season, the Timberwolves arguably have the best offense that any team has to offer. And again, I just want to remind you that this is relatively the same team that struggled to get over 20 wins the year prior. And Timberwolves fans, you know more than anybody that it is definitely not just the big three contributing to the success that they have seen, as I wouldn't think it'd be a stretch to say that the Timberwolves have one of the deepest and most efficient all-around rotations out of any team in the NBA right now. Because first things first, whether you love or hate this man, and I really don't think there's anywhere in between, the effect that Patrick Beverley has had on this team this season has been too great to at least not bring up for discussion. And aside from what he is doing, you have a Timberwolves bench that is absolutely loaded with guys that do not necessarily stick out to the casual NBA fan, but have time and time again this season stepped up to the plate when they are called upon. I mean, seriously, when I bring up the Timberwolves bench to you guys and it consists of players like Malik Beasley, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, Jalen Noel, Taurean Prince, and Jordan McLaughlin, some of you watching this video very well might not even know who some of these players are. But I'm telling you, from what they have done for this team so far this season, the Timberwolves could not ask for much more to back up their starting rotation. All in all though, again, if you haven't paid attention to them this season, I will say it right here and right now that there is no team in the Western Conference that willingly wants to get matched up with these guys in the first round of the playoffs. So I'm not guaranteeing they're going to make a run. I'm not calling them a dark horse contender. I'm just telling you guys keep your eye on them. But with that being said, I now want to hear what you guys have to think about this team. So please let me know in the comments, do you at least see this Minnesota Timberwolves team winning a playoff series this year? And on top of that, what has been the most surprising thing about the Timberwolves from what you've seen this season? Also, again, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe while you're down there. I really cannot say it enough, you guys. We are coming out with brand new NBA videos around here every single week, and with the postseason and off-season right around the corner, believe me, you do not want to miss out. But I also wanted to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate all of you more than anything. You all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.